We begin tonight with that U.S. Supreme Court ruling saying that private religious schools cannot be excluded from a program that pays tuition for students in more rural areas of our state.
Before we get to the nuts and bolts of the ruling, this is how the program works. For example, Town A is a town like many in Maine. It has both an elementary and a middle school, but no high school. Town B next door does have one, so the Maine program allows Town A to use state money to pay for a student to go to that high school. But if a family in Town A wants to send their teenager to a private religious school in Town C, the state would not pay for it. Today's 6-3 ruling by the court says that is religious discrimination.
And now this means families can have their child's tuition covered at a religious school of their choosing, as long as that school accepts state funds from the program.
News Center Maine's Carly Dion has been following this case, and she spoke with people connected to it about today's ruling.
The Carson family has a close connection to the Bangor Christian School.
I went there in junior high and high school. David went there in high school. My brother went there in high school.
Glenburn resident Amy Carson says that attendance continued with her daughter Olivia. Since Glenburn does not have its own high school, Amy and her husband David feel their daughter's high school education should be covered under Maine's tuition assistance program, which led to this U.S. Supreme Court case. Today, the High Court ruling that Maine's law is in fact unconstitutional. Amy getting emotional thinking of how proud their grandparents would be.
To have your name on something that is so important as this is just mind-blowing.
Prior to this lawsuit, filed with two other Maine families in 2018, the law entitled every child to free public education in the state, and the tuition assistance program provided funding to students living in towns without schools, as long as the school they chose was not associated with any religion. Although this won't help them as their daughter is now in college, she hopes it will help others.
There's plenty of people that we know that live in Glenburn, and they could benefit from that for their kids.
Institute for Justice attorney Michael Bindus says he is thrilled about this outcome.
This is a tremendous victory and a tremendous day for parents who simply want the ability to choose the schools that are best for their children.
Maine's Department of Education releasing a statement saying the department is reviewing the decision for its implications for Maine schools and will implement the state's tuition program in accordance with the ruling. Maine's Attorney General Frey says he is very disappointed by this ruling, but it may not be the victory his opposition thinks it is.
If what it is that the state wants to do is make sure that its public dollars go to public education, we're going to have to make sure that we retool how these programs work so that that happens.
Frey says the DOE and legislators will now have to reevaluate this program to determine where it goes from here, ensuring all students in Maine have access to a public education. Carly Dion, News Center, Maine.
Attorney Michael Bindus says the Supreme Court's decision today will likely influence a similar case that's being heard by a federal trial court in Vermont.